Hey guys, my name is Jake Kaufman. Welcome back to another Way Outside playoff recap. Hope everyone's doing great right now. Uh, I ended up not being able to do a recap for last yesterday for well this for yesterday's games and the day before. So I'm just gonna do these two together. And so the 22nd games of the 22nd, 23rd, especially because the 22nd was very difficult day for me. I'm trying to get through all these quick because the Bulls game 4 is about to be on. But yeah, without further ado, let's go in. So the first game on Friday night was the Heat versus the Hawks, and the Heat had a chance to put up the convincing or but usually the series ending 3-0. And there was a period of time, especially in that second half, where it looked like they really were going to be up 3-0. They're going to put the clamps on Atlanta, really take away any momentum that left. But Atlanta ended up coming back with a 1 point win on Trae Young's last second floater. A few things that led to this. One was Kyle Lowry going out with an injury somewhere in the second half. His numbers don't usually ever tell his full impact. He was only at 6 points, 5 assists, but he was a plus 18 in the game. He had the highest plus minus, second high. He had the highest plus minus on the Heat, third highest plus minus in the game. And it was just a very big loss for them when he wasn't able to play, when he was out, because it made Jimmy be more of the primary ball handler. That took a little steam out of him. And even though Jimmy did have good all-around numbers, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, he was only 8 for 20 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, and his shot selection was terrible. We'll get to that quickly in 1 second. Bam Adebayo played all right, 13 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. Max Strus had 20 points on 7 of 13 shooting. Peter Tucker had 11 points. The bench pretty struggled, even though Tyler Hero scored a lot. He was 24 points, but except for assists, but he was a minus 21. He was just getting abused defensively constantly, and that really hurt the team. So, yeah, when look at the Hawks side, Trae Young had his best game of the series, which wasn't saying a lot because he hadn't played well in general. But Bogdanovich again had another great fourth quarter. He had back-to-back games where he was just money. He's switching everything. He is so confident. He had 18 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 32 minutes on the bench, plus 16. DeLon Wright had a great impact as well, too, as he had 13 points, 5 rebounds, and assists. He was a perfect 6 for 6 from the field. Onyeka Okongwu had 9 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks in only 24 minutes. Kevin Huerter only played okay. He was 13 points, but yeah, I mean, it was honestly Trae Young was doing it early. He found DeAndre Hunter did a great job defensively, and then it was the bench for Atlanta. Okongwu and Bogdanovich and Wright really made a huge impact, and they were actually the ones that really because Trae Young was the only starter on the Hawks as positive plus minus. The rest of the positives were on the bench. So yeah. So back to what I was going to say before, Jimmy Butler. If everyone knows, he's my favorite player, all-time favorite player. I love him. His shot selection down the stretch was horrendous. He's one of the smartest IQ players in the league, at least in my opinion, usually. And he took some of the dumbest shot I've ever fucking seen, considering the circumstances. 2 threes that he knew he didn't have a chance to make, especially the last one, but in 4 seconds, and he gets a fadeaway 3. DeAndre Hunter is real. He's not going to make that. Jimmy normally does not play hero ball. I was very disappointed in him. I'm pretty sure the Heat are going to win today and make it thing, but I'm nervous because the Hawks always seem to have something up their sleeve. It's like they're not that as amazing of a team, but there's just this weird fear factor about them is that they always have the ability to just like mess up any game plan or just because Trae is so unique, a dynamic player. But yeah, I mean, I think that's all I have to say about this one because I want to go quickly. Next was my beloved Bulls against the Milwaukee Bucks game 3. First Bulls home playoff game in 5 years. Looked like it was good. A lot of positives were going to happen over it. But nah. It was awful. We lost by 30. I was annoyed because Mike Breen and that we got the lead crew of ABC to cover our games. So that never happens. We were coming off a good win. Thought maybe we could keep close, especially because Milton was out. And no, we really shit the bed. We were held at 81 points. We shot 39% of the field. We were 9 for 34 from 3. 13 turnovers wasn't that bad, but We got out rebounded by 12. Just everything fucking with the shit. Milwaukee was 47% from the field, 37% from three, but they made 15 threes. They only had 9 turnovers. Yeah, it was awful. And the worst part of all for as a Bulls fan was that the leading scorer wasn't Giannis, which would be understandable. It wasn't Middleton. It wasn't Holiday. Understandable. It wasn't Brooke Lopez. It was fucking Grayson bitch ass Allen, who every Bulls fan rightfully hates, and just a lot of basketball people hate. He's just a dick. He's an asshole. He went off. He had 22 points on 8 for 12, shooting 5 for 7 from 3 up plus 15. That was the most frustrating part to me. Giannis did his thing with 18, not 7 and 9. He really didn't need to do too much. Forrest and Holiday at 18, 16 respectively. Pat Collins taking him 11 off the bench. But, I mean, 111 is a decent amount of points, but they didn't score a ton. The Bulls just couldn't fucking do anything. Vucevic was the league scorer for the Bulls at 19 at 15 shoots. Tomorrow only got 9 shots in 30 minutes. They put Holiday on him the entire game, and it's just he's just such an impossible guy to shake free. He's so difficult to mark. Stroke. Zach LaVine went 6 to 13 for 15 points. The bench played a lot, especially in the fourth quarter, but no one really did anything. Vucevic was only 3 for 9 from 3. Caruso played okay. He had 9 points, 3 for 5 for 3. Patrick Williams really struggled, and I was really high on him, especially in the high end of the regular season, but he has not played that well in the series aside from game 2. So for 9, he had 1 point in 30 minutes, and he just didn't assert himself. I mean, he had some couple okay defensive leagues. As much as I want to get mad at Demar for only getting up 9 shots, putting Drew Holiday on a guard is a death sentence, and I don't really know what to do. The only thing I think they have to figure out is find a way to get a switch with it. I mean, the Bulls are about to play in like 15 minutes at least at the time they're recording this. And while I want to be kind of optimistic, I can't. They're gonna get crushed again. I'm pretty damn sure. Yeah, we'll just move on past this shit. No, Apple Watch, I won't talk to you. Last game of Friday night was the Suns and the Pelicans, and it was there was definitely a time where it looked like the Pelicans had a real chance to win this because the Suns were getting so many points in the paint, and despite they had I believe 66 points in the game, despite that the Pelicans were up for a good chunk of this game, and then the fourth quarter came, and Chris Paul did his thing. He finished with 28 points, 14 assists, and no turnovers yet again. He is amazing. His ratio of assist turnovers. He was 10 of 16, 10 of 18 from field, only 1 for 6 from 3, but a plus 10. He plays 40 minutes of age. He's almost 37. DeAndre Ayton had a career game. He had 28 points, 17 rebounds, 3 steals, a block. 35 minutes plus 18 was a game high. 13 of 20 from the field was incredible. He just played very well. Chris Paul found a pick and roll, but he also made his own shots. He made a 3. He's gotten his improved shooting is incredibly impressive. I think it shows his work ethic because last year, as good as he was in the finals run last year, he wasn't really consistently hitting any jumpers. So I think that really shows his growth and evolution. He really messed up with the work. And the other big contributions was Joel McGee had another very good game. He had 15 points in 12 minutes off the bench. Mikal Bridges had 17 points. Jake Crowder had 10 points. They actually started Cam Johnson because of the Booker injury, and he kind of struggled a little bit. At least not as good of production as he was when he was coming off the bench, just because Herb Jones spent a good amount of time guarding him when he wasn't on Chris Paul. But yeah. Now let's get into the contributions of as a team. They shot 50%. The Suns also won this game with that while shooting only 4 for 26 from 3 due to that incredible number of paint points. But they were 51% from the field overall. And they only had 5 team turnovers, which again was the result of Chris Paul doing such a good job for that. On the Pelican side, Ingram had 34. He played incredibly. He was 11 to 19 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. CJ McCollum was 11 of 23 for 30 points with 7 assists. He played okay. The most efficient, but he wouldn't have not terrible. Jonas Valanciunas had a really bad game. He only had 11 rebounds and 6 points after having some monster games early on. Herb Jones had a decent offensive game with 12 points and 3 rebounds. Also, all of his impact-winning plays defensively. Jackson Hayes got ejected early from eye checking Jay Crowder, which was pretty bad. Larry Nance Jr. had his first bad game since the plan. He only had 2 points and fouled out in 23 minutes. Devontae Graham gave him a good spark early on. They only put 13 minutes total, but there's a point where he gave them the lead with back-to-back threes. Yeah, I mean, they got some okay contributions, but really no. Trey Murphy was a plus 21 in 23 minutes without scoring, but I don't exactly know what that's up with that. I mean, I obviously know he's a good defender and stuff, but I was surprised to see that. But I think this reaffirms that maybe the Pelicans will tie that 2-2, but I just think that Chris Paul, even without Devin Booker, knows enough even if he can't physically make the scores himself, he knows how to set up his teammates in a way that can. Yeah, we're going to move on to the last three quickly. 76ers Raptors. Raptors were able to stave off elimination impressively despite, you know, well, they did get Scotty Barnes back in a limited capacity. Yeah, he was able to play 26 minutes after being named rookie of the year. Congrats on that, by the way. They needed to win this game to stave off elimination. It helps that Harden again significantly struggled. He was only 5 for 17 from the field, 2 from 3. He did get 10 of 11 free throws and 9 assists, but game worst, minus 14. Tyrese Maxey also struggled. He was 4 of 12 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, though it's all right. Joel Embiid also didn't have a great game, particularly 21 points and 8 rebounds, though, but 7 to 16 shooting and 5 turnovers. None of the starters really play well. I mean, Tobias Harris was already 15 and 11 on okay shooting splits, but the only thing that really ever made this game closer than it was just how well Philadelphia was able to make threes and respectively how bad Toronto shot from three. The Sixers only 43% of the field, but they did go 13 and 31 from the 3-point line, which is 42%. That's the only thing that kept them in it. While on the Raptors didn't shoot well from the field either. They're only 42% as well, but they were 8 for 34 from three, so that was the only thing really keeping this game close whatsoever. Raptors got to go. Pascal Siakam had a great game. 34 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks. He had, I believe, 15 of his 34 in the fourth quarter. He was 13-15 from the free throw line. He was great, and but yeah, so I've never been too high on Pascal Siakam. He's a good player, but I feel like people were overrating him. He had a star level game today. There's need, especially because Fred VanVleet went out with the injury pretty early on. The hip injury. He only had like 15 minutes. Gary Trent Jr. played all right, 24 points, only 8 for 20 from the field. It wasn't like he got a bunch of contributions from other people. OG Anunoby really struggled. He was 3 for 13. Thaddeus Young had a very good game off the bench, so he's a game high plus 14. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, a block. He just can do a little bit of everything. I liked him a lot on the Bulls last year. He's just a really good, useful player. Achua had some late impact. Sky Barnes put okay in his 26 feet. He did have 11 rebounds on 6 points, but yeah. I'm glad the Raptors were able to, push the back to Philly. I don't see them winning another game though, because obviously, as much as I would like to say that Philly would be the first team, a 3-0 lead, because Doc Rivers honestly could make it possible. It's not going to happen. Celtics Nets. Again, proving my point that you need an actual coach and system to win games. It doesn't matter how good your players are. KD again struggled. I mean, his shooting splits itself weren't bad, but he only got up 11 shots, only scored 16 points. 8 rebounds, 8 assists, but 5 turnovers in 46 minutes against Steve Nash that plays him the entire fucking game and wonders why he's tired. Kyrie Irving played shit again, 6 for 17, 0 for 7 from 3, 9 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, a block, but 2 turnovers as well, 43 minutes. Seth Curry was okay. 10 points in the game. Bruce Brown had another amazing game. 26 points on 7-19 shooting. He's been really taking advantage of the space he's been given, whether it's the floater. He's been hitting a decent amount of his threes. He just does a bit of everything. 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, a block. Blake Griffin was surprised getting a play in, and he actually played pretty well in his 8 minutes. He had 8 points, a rebound. He showed a lot of effort and hustle. Claxton had 13 points in 21 minutes. but he was all right. Patty Mills was very good. He only played 23, but he got 12 points. I mean, they only went 9 deep, and they only played major minutes to 7 guys. And again, that's just not really a recipe for success. For the game, they shot pretty well from everywhere. They shot 51% from the field and 41% from three. Um, but they just didn't get enough out of their actual stars again. But on the Celtics side, Tatum had a very good game, especially late, even though he wasn't amazing at the field. He finished with 39 points, 6 assists, 6 steals too, even though he had 6 turnovers. 45 minutes. He was incredible. He was hitting all the big shots late. Jaylen Brown had a very good game, 23 points, 5 assists, 2 steals in the 38 minutes. Marcus Smart had 14 points and 6 assists on good shooting. Daniel Tice had 9 points. Al Horford had a very low impact this game in a way, but Peyton Pritchard played good off the bench. It was good for see Robert Williams playing again. Grant Williams had a good impact, and the shooting splits again, like I said, weren't that insane, but the Nets finished with 18 turnovers. I thought it was higher to 20 when I was watching, like on the broadcast itself, but they just turned the ball over too much, and they were all crucial turnovers too. Um, it was honestly surprising. It's just that turnovers and a couple rebounds led to Boston making a couple more shots because they made the same amount of threes, they made the same amount of free throws, but they got 3 extra field goals made. The Celtics did, and that's what gave them the 6-1 edge. I honestly think it's going to be a sweep now, and I think that the Nets need to get an actual coach because I believe Steve Nash was hired because Kyrie doesn't want to be coached, and KD cares only will do whatever Kyrie wants. Because Steve Nash is clearly not doing any fucking thing. Let's go on the last game. Last game of the night was the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies, and this is a very back and forth one too. It was a very entertaining game, although at the end it was kind of anticlimactic in terms of how it was going to finish. Yeah, let's see what else. Oh, sorry. Also, I forgot one game. I'll get to it. I meant Timberwolves and the Grizzlies was a very good, entertaining. Timberwolves proved that they really can compete. Desmond Bain had an amazing game for the Grizzlies first before all. 34 points, 11 to 18 from the field, 8 for 12 from three, plus 10 in 35 minutes. John Morant really struggled. He only had 11 points. He did have 15 assists though to 2 turnovers, but yeah, otherwise he in 8 rebounds, but he just didn't overall feel like even with his assists, he didn't feel like he had an insane impact. Xavier Tillman played all right. Dylan Brooks had a good 24 points. Jaren Jackson Jr. fouled out again and was only able to play 23 minutes. Brandon Clark had a very good game again. He had 15 and 5 off the bench and 4 assists too. Tyus Jones had his good normal impact with 15 points, 3 assists, and 1 rare turnover. Memphis really shot the lights out from 3. They were 15 to 32 from 3, which really helped them. 9% from the field. They did have 17 turnovers though, but it didn't seem to bother. I mean that it was a 1-point game at the end, but that was because Desmond hit 3. But on the Timberwolves side, Karl-Anthony Towns finally came to play in this series. I mean, 8 for 17 from the field wasn't great, but he did get to the free throw line 17 times. It hit 14 of them. He did have 14 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block. 6 turnovers isn't great, but it's whatever. Anthony Edwards had a bounce back game, even though he got hurt early on in the first quarter. 24 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Vanderbilt finally got some extended minutes and played well. 12 points, 8 rebounds. Patrick Beverly had 17 points and 5 assists in his 37 minutes. They really played their bench. They're very little. McLaughlin had a very good game off the bench though. 16 points in 14 minutes and only missed 1 shot. Yeah, I mean Timberwolves shot 18 for 36 from 3. That was crazy. I mean, I honestly say that I don't know who's going to win this series because Timberwolves, at their best, they're a very tough team to beat. It's going to be a very good series. Best at it. Best 2 of 3 now. So yeah. Quickly, I'm going to talk about the Jazz Mavericks game. I just think that I knew it was going to be an adjustment, trying to get Luka back in because they played a different style, especially games 2 and 3 without him. Also, Mitchell and Gobert finally played together and were able to win the game. Their relationship hopefully is a little bit better. I would dive deeper into this, but I also don't really have the time because I got to get ready for this Bulls game. I'm gonna start doing these every day now again. It's gonna be a lot easier when there's games are ending less later. I'm gonna hopefully do it right after everything. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for everything. Thanks for listening. I'm Jake Kaufman. I'll see you next time.